Hey friends, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to start with a new poem, that is an elementary school classroom in a slum. This poem is written by Stephen Spender. Here we have a text from NCERT, but this text looks somewhat boring. So I'm gonna teach you the same thing from our own notes. So let's move on to our notes. So here are our notes, and you can see how beautiful they are looking. So basically, I can assure you that this session is going to be somewhat life changing for you all. Okay, so an elementary school classroom in a slum. So first, we should not study English as if we have to cram something. We have to get into the emotions of the poet. We have to imagine what the poet was imagining at the time when he was writing the same. So let's draw a comparison between both the things. So here we have provided you with pictures of both a normal school. This is something we call a normal school. Okay, and this is what how a slum school looks like. The walls are not good, not a good infrastructure or furniture and all that. So the comparison has been drawn by the poet also. So let's move on to the text. Okay, the first paragraph starts like this. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. So, what does this far, far means here? Sorry, I mean to say, what does this gusty means here? Gusty means strong, something strong, or what poet has tried to depict is that the children's, those who are studying in the slums, are far, far from the gusty waves. Gusty waves here signifies the elite section of our society. That is the more privileged people. Okay. So now, like rootless weeds. What is a rootless weed, sir? Tell me now. Okay, बेटा बता रहा हूँ. देखो. Rootless weeds is a wild plant that is not wanted in the garden because it prevents other plants from growing properly. So here you can see a picture of rootless weeds somehow. So basically what poet has tried to depict is that these students are the unwanted section of the society. We all don't want poor people around us. Whenever we cross a red light, we feel like that if those poor people didn't live in the cities, then the life would have been a bit better. We all think like that. Okay. So poet has tried to say that these children are the unwanted section of the society. The hair torn round their pallor. So what is this pallor? Paler, I guess. Sorry for the what do we call it? Mispronunciation. So it's paler. The hair torn round their paler. Paler is a pale face. So here is a comparison drawn again. So this is how a normal student looks like. A normal children that goes to the school like you and me. We all are privileged that our parents groom us, somewhat in a better way to make us look smart. And this is how a student in a slum looks like. The torn hairs, that you can see that here his hairs are not combed well. The pale face, that he's not happy, enthusiastic, or excited to go to the school in comparison to the other person, other student, in comparison to the other boy next to him. I mean to say next in the next picture basically. Okay. So okay, where is our text? Okay, here it is. Okay, so we have read this thing. So, and a tall girl with her weighed down head. So basically what the poet is trying to tell us is that he's trying to make a picture of that classroom in our mind. He's trying to show us the characteristics of a different student so that we can imagine how that classroom looks like basically. So a tall girl with her weighed down head. It's not the simple line, guys. Believe me. There is a lot more depthness in this a single line. That weighed down head signifies that she's ashamed of her poverty in somehow. She's she's weighed by responsibilities of her house, as we all know that in poor people, and basically she's from slum, so she might have had a lot of responsibilities over her shoulders, related to her house, to do household chores and etc. And then the poet has moved on to the another boy, that is the paper simming boy with rat's eyes. Okay, paper simming is here a metaphor. It's been tried that to show us that paper simming, as we have seen around us, the thin boys, the skinny boys who look as thin as paper. So the poet has said that he's somewhat malnourishment. He's trying to depict the thing that malnourishment out there, because as we know that poor people don't have enough food to eat. So again, the next in context to this is also written with rat's eyes. So here you can see that how the rat's eyes are basically. I hope you have seen this before as well. But okay, so rat's eye depicts that he's looking up to something. He's somewhat hungry or striving for something, and also with that he's in fear. The boy, paper simming boy with rat's eyes, means that he is looking, as in whenever we cross some red lights or etc., we see poor people around us. What do we see is that they're looking up to something, that somebody will give them money or food and etc., other things. Okay, so this is how this boys is up to, that someday his life will change and you know he'll be at a different place and all. And also there is a fear in him as well, that maybe the more powerful people around him, basically not around him but powerful people may harm him. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, here it is. The stunted unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. So here is a boy who is reciting a lesson. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute, guys. Okay, so here is a boy who is reciting a lesson from his desk. So now the poet has tried to depict his characteristics. The stunted. What does this stunted means? Stunted means something whose growth has been stopped in a way. Okay, so okay, wait a minute, guys, wait a minute. Here stunted means that his physical growth is stunted, that is his physical growth is not occurring, that he is not growing physically, and he recites his lesson from his desk as he cannot stand. Okay, so unlucky heir of a twisted bones. Unlucky heir of a twisted bones means that he has inherited a gnarled bone disease from his father. Okay, so what is a heir basically? Heir is a person who gets something as in virasat, as in you might have heard a word called virasat. So if a person has got something from his fathers, forefathers and ancestors, that could be a property or jewelry or money etc., but this guy has got from his father a disease, a gnarled disease, that is something, a bone disease basically. Okay, so here reciting a father's gnarled disease signifies that by looking at him we can judge that his father might have been suffering from this disease as well. Okay, now the poet has moved to the another boy who's sitting at the back. So at the back of the dim class, oh, he's a backbencher, isn't he? At the back of dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in tree room other than this. So what poet has tried to say is that there's a boy who's sitting at the back of the classroom, who's unnoted in a way that we all have somebody in our classroom who's sitting at some corner of the classroom. So he's sweet and young, and he's looking out of the window of our classroom at the squirrel's game in a tree room. Okay, so he's looking at the squirrels, and he's living in his dreams, that he's daydreaming something. Because why do people daydream? Because they think that they lack that thing and they find happiness in dreaming that same thing. Okay, so we'll discuss the remaining part in the next video. So